Welcome to The Real Unknown Tales. Here we uncover the world's most mysterious stories, unsolved disappearances, and hidden secrets that defy explanation. Subscribe and join us every week as we explore what lies beyond the unknown. On December 5, 1945, 5 U.S. Navy bombers known as Flight 19 took off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, for a routine training mission. The weather was calm, the mission simple. But something went terribly wrong. Radio communications grew frantic. Pilots reported their compasses spinning wildly, the ocean looking strange, and the sun setting in the wrong place. Lieutenant Charles Taylor, the flight leader, was heard saying, "We can't tell where we are. Everything looks wrong, strange." The ocean doesn't look as it should. Minutes later, all contact was lost. The Navy immediately launched a massive search operation. Rescue planes and ships scoured the waters. But Flight 19, along with 14 crewmen, had vanished completely. Even stranger, one of the rescue planes sent to look for them also disappeared, along with its 13-man crew. To this day, no wreckage from Flight 19 has ever been found. The Bermuda Triangle gained its infamous reputation that day, and the mystery of Flight 19 remains unsolved. In December of 1900, a supply ship approached the remote Flannan Isles lighthouse off the coast of Scotland. The lighthouse was supposed to be manned by 3 experienced keepers. But as the ship drew closer, something felt wrong. The flag was missing. The gate stood wide open, and inside, the lighthouse meals had been left untouched. A chair was overturned, and one set of oilskins, a heavy coat worn in storms, was left hanging on the wall. There was no sign of struggle, no blood, no footprints leading away. The 3 men had simply vanished. Investigations offered theories ranging from a giant rogue wave sweeping them into the sea, to madness, to something supernatural. But no evidence has ever explained the disappearance of the Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers. Amelia Earhart was more than just a pilot. She was a legend. In 1937, she attempted to become the first woman to fly around the globe. With her navigator Fred Noonan at her side, she crossed oceans and continents, nearing the final stretch of her journey. But on July 2nd, as they approached Howland Island in the Pacific, her radio transmissions grew desperate. "We must be on you but cannot see you. Fuel is running low." Then, silence. Earhart and Noonan vanished into the Pacific, never to be seen again. Despite the largest air and sea search in history, no trace was ever found. Theories range from crashing at sea to capture by the Japanese to surviving on a deserted island. But the truth remains hidden beneath the waves. Amelia Earhart's disappearance is one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. Far to the north, in the icy wilderness of Canada, lies one of the most chilling mysteries of all. In 1930, a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle arrived at the Inuit village of Anjikuni. He had visited before, always greeted by the warmth of its people. But this time, silence. Every hut was empty. Food lay abandoned, fires had burned out, and sled dogs were found starved, still tied to their posts. Even more disturbing, graves in the village cemetery had been dug up, their contents missing. The entire population of Anjikuni had vanished without a trace. Theories suggest starvation, migration, even alien abduction. But no human explanation has ever fit the evidence. The frozen silence of Anjikuni remains one of the Arctic's darkest secrets. On Christmas Eve, 1945, in Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sauter family was celebrating the holidays when tragedy struck. A fire consumed their home in the dead of night. The parents and some children escaped, but 5 of the Sauter children were never seen again. The blaze was fierce, but when investigators combed through the ashes, no human remains were found. Not even bones or teeth. The fire chief admitted the blaze should not have been hot enough to completely destroy bodies. Strangely, witnesses later reported seeing the children alive, peering from a passing car or watched over by strangers. The Sauter family received mysterious phone calls, cryptic letters, and even a photograph years later of a young man who resembled one of the missing boys. Were the Sauter children kidnapped? Did they die in the fire, leaving no trace? The truth remains uncertain, and the case continues to haunt the town of Fayetteville to this day. Perhaps one of the most legendary vanishings of all time happened on the open sea. In December of 1872, the merchant ship Mary Celeste was found adrift in the Atlantic Ocean. The vessel was in good condition, its cargo untouched, and there were no signs of struggle. The lifeboat, however, was missing. When rescuers boarded, they found half-eaten meals on the table, a logbook that ended abruptly, and personal belongings left behind. The crew of 10 people had simply disappeared. Over the decades, theories have included mutiny, piracy, sudden storms, even sea monsters. But none have ever been proven. The Mary Celeste sails through history not as a ship, but as a ghostly reminder of mysteries that cannot be explained. These are just a few of the stories that defy explanation. From vanishing aircraft, to missing lighthouse keepers, to pilots lost at sea, to families torn apart by mystery. Each case leaves us with more questions than answers. Perhaps some mysteries were never meant to be solved. This has been The Real Unknown Tales. Subscribe and join us again next time as we journey deeper into the shadows of the unexplained.